Afternoon, Miss Effie.
Good afternoon, Miss.
So today we will start evaluation about. We start from IPA first.
IPA.
IPA, Miss.
Oke, thank you, Miss. Nomor satu, apakah peran herbivora dalam sebuah ekosistem? Jadi herbivora berperan sebagai konsumen tingkat pertama yang memakan produsen. Jadi dengan adanya herbivora dia akan menjaga keseimbangan ekosistem tersebut karena di sebuah rantai makanan dimulai dari produsen, kemudian produsen yang akan dimakan oleh konsumen-konsumen berikutnya dari tingkat 1, tingkat 2 dan seterusnya dan diakhiri dengan decomposer. Nomor 2, bayangkan sebuah hutan tempat Nisa dan Faisal tinggal, namun di hutan tersebut tidak ada produsen. Jika produsen tidak ada dalam ekosistem, maka apa yang terjadi? Seperti yang saya sebutkan tadi bahwa sebuah rantai makanan di dalam sebuah ekosistem itu dimulai dari produsen karena dia adalah yang bisa menghasilkan makanan sendiri. Jika tidak ada produsen dalam sebuah ekosistem, maka rantai makanan tidak dapat berlangsung dengan baik. Nomor 3, sebuah sungai tercemar limbah sehingga banyak ikan mati. Analisis dampak pencemaran tersebut terhadap ekosistem sungai. Jadi di dalam ekosistem sungai itu ada ikan dan juga makhluk-makhluk lain. Jika ada limbah dan menyebabkan banyak ikan mati, maka itu akan mengganggu rantai makanan tersebut. Jika ikan mati, tidak akan ada lagi makanan bagi ikan-ikan yang lebih besar. Maka keseimbangan di dalam sebuah ekosistem itu tidak akan berjalan dengan baik lagi. Nomor 4, bandingkan peran produsen dan pengurai dalam menjaga keseimbangan ekosistem. Nah, produsen itu berperan sebagai penghasil energi dan si pengurai, produsen seperti tumbuhan berfungsi sebagai penghasil energi dan si pengurai seperti bakteri berfungsi sebagai pengurai makhluk-makhluk yang sudah mati dan mengembalikan nutrisi ke dalam tanah dan itu yang akan menyeimbangkan keseimbangan ekosistem tersebut. Nomor 5, dalam suatu ekosistem terjadi penebangan hutan secara besar-besaran. Nah, jika terjadi dalam jangka panjang, dampak bagi makhluk hidup adalah hutan itu adalah sebuah habitat bagi makhluk hidup tertentu. Jika habitatnya sudah dihancurkan, ditebang, maka dalam jangka panjang itu akan merusak ekosistemnya. Lama-kelamaan hewan-hewan yang hidup di dalam hutan akan punah dan tidak lagi terjadi bukan hanya hewan yang punah tetapi tumbuhan sebagai produsen itu tidak ada, maka tidak ada sumber makanan untuk hewan, maka akan terjadi kepunahan dan juga kerusakan lingkungan karena dengan penebangan hutan tidak akan ada lagi pohon-pohon yang menahan aliran air. Jadi ini sangat berdampak buruk bagi makhluk hidup seperti hewan, tumbuhan, dan juga manusia.
Jadi Miss, kalau dia terjadi penebangan hutan besar-besaran, apa yang terjadi pada iklim? Bisa jelaskan hubungkan dengan perubahan iklim?
Pada perubahan iklim itu kan biasa pohon itu Miss berfungsi untuk memberikan sumber oksigen dan juga itu adalah sebagai sumber utama kehidupan. Jika tidak ada lagi pohon-pohon sudah ditebang dan juga penebangan itu kan bisa menyebabkan kebakaran hutan. Kok bisa kebakaran, Miss? Karena panas suhunya. Lama-lama suhu-suhu yang kebakaran tersebut bisa menyebabkan polusi udara. Jadi iklimnya bisa tidak stabil sih menurut saya seperti itu, Miss.
Baik, Miss.
Next,
math, Miss.
Okay. Number 1, what is the median of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So the definition of median is the middle value after you arrange the smallest until the after you arrange the data from the smallest into the biggest. So from here you can see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11 already arranged from smallest into the biggest. Then you can count how many data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 data because this is even number. You can take, so you can count from here. This is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like this. So the middle value is 5 and 7 because there are 2. You need to plus first and then divide by 2. The median is 12 divided by 2, 6. What is the mode of 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9? So mode is the most data, the most frequently data that appears in one data. If you see here, 6 only once, 7 there are twice, 8 only once, and 9 appears 3 times. That means the mode is 9. In a pictogram, one picture represents 4 items. If there are 3.5 pictures, how many items are represented? So if in pictograms, you need to times 4 items times 4 times 3 0.5. It is 12, 14. Yes. Yes. 14 picture. And then number 4 and 5. A teacher use a pictogram and bar chart, show students attendance, analyze which one is more effective. So which one is more effective is a bar chart, because when you draw data in a bar chart, you can see the students attendance in more detail. While if you use pictograms, it's only represent like one picture for 3 students, so you cannot see it clearly. So the most effective, if you compare between pictogram and bar chart, the answer is a bar chart. Number 5. A pictogram shows one symbol equals to 5 books. If a student said see 7 symbols, explain how many. Yeah, same way like number 3. So you just need to times 5 times 7 equals to 35. So there are 35 books. And why understanding the key is important? If you misunderstanding the key, you will get the wrong result. For example, actually the symbol represent 5 books, but you see the books only 4. So it is really important to understand the key, because the correct key will provide the correct answer. Thank you.
Okay, Miss. Next, Miss.
Science.
Science.
Okay, science is about force. Rahman, Rizal, and Mega doing a science experiment with different objects. Can you help them figure out which object will float? So in this concept, the object that has the density lower than the liquid will float, while the object that has higher density will sink. For example, if they use what object? Yeah, wood. If they use a wood and rocks, the wood will float while the rocks will sink due to the higher density. Next, number 2, Ina, Sari, and Dewi are having a race to see which object will sink faster. So actually, same concept with number 1. The higher density will sink faster. If you use a rocks and a wood, the rocks will sink faster. The rocks will sink while the wood will float. It due to the density, miss.
Please pardon me about the example.
Huh?
The wood.
The wood will the wood will float while the rocks will sink faster.
Okay, miss.
Number
So your example is rock and wood.
yeah.
Okay, miss.
Next,
Number 3, miss.
number 3. A person weigh 600 Newton on Earth. Explain how their weight, their person, how his weight would change on the moon and why using the concept of gravitational strength. So, weight depend on gravitational. If you go to the moon, your weight will times by 1 per 6 times 600 Newton equals to 100 Newton. Because weight and mass is different. If your mass on the earth is 60 kilograms, it's just the same on the moon. While your weight will be different.
So the weight will be different.
Yeah, 100 Newton on the moon.
Okay, miss.
In the moon. Number 4, on. Explain why the brakes of a bicycle can become hot after a long downhill ride. Identify the role of friction and describe the energy conversion. So when you do a long downhill ride, there are so many friction between the brakes and the bicycle. Then this will convert the kinetic energy become the heat energy. That's why it's become hot. From kinetic energy into the heat energy.
So it will become hot.
Yes, miss, because it's produce heat. Like, yeah, friction will produce heat. Number 5, a feather and a stone drop from the same height in the air. Compare the motion and explain how surface area and air resistance come the differences. So a feather with the wider surface will be have the air resistance bigger, that make the feather slow down, while the what one more while the stone with the smaller surface area, it will take smallest air resistance, so it will go down faster.
Feather stone drop from the same height. Okay, miss. So what if the feather and the stone fall from the same height in a vacuum place, like there is no air resistance?
If there is no air resistance, they will fall down at the same time because we just count the gravitational force. It caused by the gravitational force.
Okay, thank you for your explanation, miss. Now we turn to book.
Okay, miss, so today we will learn about this page. This is talking about magnitude of air resistance depends on. So, like my homework question just now, it will depends on surface area. The larger the area, the greater the air resistance. If the feather has a larger surface area, so the air resistance will be greater. So it will take times longer than a stone. And then the speed of an object Then the second is density of the air. And the last is the shape of object moving through the air. Density here means it can be sink or float. If we do the experiment, yeah, this will be our science project next week.
Okay, next week we will have a science project about this.
Density means, yes, how the clay float or sink in the water.
Okay, can you explain a little bit about the project, Miss?
Yes, Miss. So next week we will see the clay will float or sink if we make the different shape of the clay. And the student will explain about this topic as well. They will make the clay on the different surface area.
So how about the proofs? Have you prepared the proofs or?
Oh, not yet actually, but it's not hard to find. I will find it.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, Miss, so what is air resistance? So this air resistance is the opposing force that reduce the force exerted and in the air moving an object. So the concept is the more wider the surface area is, the larger the air resistance. That if you have the larger air resistance, it will make you take more time to fly on the air. Thank you, Miss.
Okay, Miss. So what is apa the relationship about the figure with this explanation? So it looks like people fall from the plane to the surface. Maybe you can explain about this figure first.
Okay, this skydiver will falling through the air experience. So if you ever do this skydiver, you will have experience how you can make your body fly on the air, and you will have a set of clothes. The wider their air resistance from the clothes, you will can enjoy the moment that make you like flying. But actually it's because the air resistance already reduce the time that you can fall down. That is the relationship actually, Miss.
Okay, Miss. Thank you for your explanation. Now we turn to vocabularies.
Okay.
Science, Miss.
Okay.
Density.
Okay, so density is the mass divided by volume. Actually, the formula for density is rho, actually m per v. If the density is higher than the liquid floats on, it will be sink. But if the density is lower than the liquid, it will be float.
Air resistance.
Air resistance is the force that slowing down the force in the air.
Slowing down. Force in
the
air.
air.
Okay. Only that?
Yes, Miss. So if you have the higher air resistance, you will have more time to fly in the air, Miss, because the wider the surface area will be, the larger the air resistance, and it will reduce air resistance. Actually, the force that reduce the time to fly in the air.
Math, Miss. Median.
Median is the sum. No, sorry, it's the mean. I mean, median is median is the middle value of the data after you arrange from the smallest into the biggest value.
Mode.
Mode is the most value that appears in a data. For example, data is 113333. So the most value that appears is 3.
Mean?
Mean is the sum of a value and divide by the total of the data. So you need to plus them first and then divide by n. N means the total data.
Okay, thank you for your explanation, Miss. I think that's all.
Thank you, Miss.